One thing that we're doing is that City Theatrical, which is a well-regarded company for special effects equipment and lighting equipment, has a great love of Yale and are friends of the university, and has loaned us a brand new type of cloud projector that is in a prototype form right now and came from a company in England. It's been used on a lot of West End productions that have come to Broadway, and they gave that to us for free, very generously. Gary Fales, the head of City Theatrical, gave us this equipment, along with some other things, including some candles, simulated candles that look very realistic. Well, we use different types of cloud patterns. We use foliage patterns. We use water reflection patterns. That's the bulk of it. There's another effect when Billy dies and is going to be woken up by the heavenly friend. Both for the water reflection and for the kind of going up there scene, this device has two patterns in it, and they counter-rotate like this at a slow speed. And for Billy, when he wakes up from being dead, it's kind of coming through the haze. It's in a kind of cool blue, and is part of the thing that helps wake him up along with the heavenly friend. As far as gels, which is color media, it's high-tech plastics, basically. We're using a variety of colors. It's a broad palette sort of show. It's not a monochromatic musical. It's 9 scenes that all take place outside.
Well, what's interesting about it is we were forced into the situation because there's not, the budget was modest. The budget for the set is about what you might pay to have someone paint a backdrop if you were having it commercially produced. So we knew going in, when we agreed to do the show, that we weren't going to be doing a traditional production of Carousel that has maybe 7 sets. Play normally, it's interesting, when you think about the play, the way it is normally produced, you're shown everything. So you know where you're at. First there's a carousel, and there's carousel horses, and there's all the people attending it. And then the next scene is along the beach, and the next scene is in front of Nettie Fowler's place, and then the second act, it's on an island, and then it's by the docks, and then Billy dies and goes up there, and all of these things are normally done in a representative way, whatever that means. It gets a little dicey when you get, to representing heaven, essentially. And so what we did was, we knew right away that we weren't going to do that. We also knew right away that that isn't necessarily the best way to do this show, because it tends to make you think it's a show about with a narrative story, where you're going to be interested in what happens next. And really, the themes of the show are felt when you watch the show, and it helps if the audience is engaged. And so we engage them right away, because our set is just a bunch of circles, and instead of having a carousel. The other thing that is unique to this production is when we go up there, normally the way musical is normally structured is there's usually a little scene, a big scene, and then a little scene, and then a big scene. And these little scenes are called in-one scenes, which is refers to the first little bit of real estate you have that's closest to the audience. So normally you have a big scene, and then you do an in-one scene. You fly in a backdrop that looks like something. And maybe you drag out a bench or something very small. And while the scene is going on, stagehands are shifting the scenery for the next big production number. Mm-hmm. So normally, when you take this approach, in Act 2 you have a scene. You have the clam bake scene, and then you do an in-one scene where you're by the docks, or you have another big set and you're by the docks. But you have to do an in-one scene in order to set up and strike all the scenery for the ballet that follows up there. In our case, rather than make it smaller, we make it bigger. We fly out all of the soft goods, and then you see one of the resources we have here is we're in a big theater that has a loading door in the back and a big brick wall, and all of the lights that have been hung, because of the nature of the set, there's a lot of side light in this piece. And when we fly all that stuff out, our up there, instead of being clouds painted and with little angels and some kind of Renaissance notion of heaven, our idea is we show the playing space as it really is.